Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kaysa Putri, and today I want to present my research proposal, and the title is Exploring Teachers' Perspective Toward the Use of Visual-Based Building Knowledge of the Field Strategy in Writing Report Text, the case of Vocational High School in Indonesia. A seminar proposal is an academic activity in which students present their research plans or final projects. Next. Okay, the first point is introduction. The first is background of the research. Teaching a report text in vocational school is challenging because many students struggle to understand the topic and organize information. According to Graham, in 2022, explained that students often face difficulties in the pre-writing stage, especially in building the background knowledge needed for factual text. In the GBA, the BKOF stage is a key step that helps students understand the topics and learn important vocabulary. Using video media makes BKOF more engaging and easier to follow. According to Putri and Akbar in 2022-23, also found that visual improves student engagement and over observation skills. Teachers play an important role in choosing the right strategies. Following to Zhang in 2021, teachers' perspective strongly affect how effectively visual-based strategies. Therefore, the study explored how teachers view the use of visual-based BKOF in teaching report text. Next. Okay, the next point is research question. The first is how do teachers perceive the effectiveness of the visual-based BKOF strategy in helping students understand context and content prior to writing a report text? And the second point is how do teachers implement the visual-based building knowledge of the field strategy in teaching report text writing in vocational high school? And the last point is what supporting and inhibiting factor do teachers experience when using this visual-based strategy in vocational classroom? Next. Okay, the third point is research objective. The first is to describe teachers' perception of the effectiveness of the visual-based BKF strategy in helping students understand the context and content before writing a report text. And the second is to explain how teachers implement the visual-based BKF strategy in teaching report text writing in vocational high school. And the third is to identify the supporting and inhibiting factors teacher experience when using this visual-based strategy in a vocational classroom. Okay. Well, next in the benefit on the research. Benefits of this research provide insight into how teachers perceive the effectiveness of the visual-based BKOF strategy in helping students understand the topic before writing a report text. This research also shows how teachers implement the strategy, offering an example of classroom practice that other teachers can follow, and identify supporting, inhibiting factors so the teacher's school can improve the use of visual-based strategy more effectively. Next. Okay, we will show a previous study, the GBA, Genre-Based Approach and BKOF Implementation in Indonesia, research by Nurlelawati and Novianti in 2017 on genre-based pedagogy practice in Indonesian school revealed that most preservers teachers in Bandung skip the building knowledge of the field stage or BKOF, despite it being the most crucial part of genre-based pedagogy. The study highlights a significant gap between teachers' theoretical knowledge (GBA) and actual classroom application. Similarly, like Najib and Triastuti in 2023 found that Indonesian E-level teachers held positive perception of GBA, but implementation hadn't met standardized requirements due to challenges including student low vocabulary mastery. According to Amelia, in 2011, established the foundational four-stage GBA framework in the Indonesian context, and the first is BKOF, MUT, GCOT, and ICOT, Sundari et al. In 2017 specifically examined the Beka of stage in teaching narrative text and found that effectively helps students understand background knowledge of text, social function, and control of relevant vocabulary and grammatical patterns. Further explore pedagogical contents, knowledge of systematic functional linguistic genre pedagogy, SVLGP in Indonesian, tertiary E-level writing context, providing insight into how teachers understand and implement genre-based approach. Next. Teaching report text in Indonesian context. According to Emilia, specifically focused on teaching report text to senior high school students using a process genre approach, which combined process writing and genre-based pedagogy. The study provided a framework specifically designed for report text instruction in Indonesian secondary education. Also, from Aziza, examined vocational high school student abilities in writing report text at SMK Negeri 1 Painan, revealing challenges students face in mastering this genre. The studies established that report text remains a challenging genre for Indonesian secondary and vocational students. Learning in vocational education explore visual language across vocational approbation, examining how visual representation and annotation are used in a blue-collar vocational context. They create taxonomies of visual design, representation specific to vocational training. Caruso in 2017 investigated how learning technology support fashion design apprentice in decoding non-textual information. The studies demonstrate that visual literacy is particularly crucial in vocational contexts where practical skills and visual communication are essential. Next. Okay, these slides show a theoretical study. The GBA view language learning as working with text in social contexts, and research saw it improves writing through gradual scaffolding. Within this approach, the BKOF stage helps students build essential background knowledge, concept, and vocabulary before writing, especially when support visual media that enhance understanding of factual information. Visual media themselves are effective tools that increase attention, comprehension, and motivation in language learning. The visual-based BKF strategy combines visual with a topic building activities, providing strong stimuli for language production and helping vocational students understand report text structure more easily. Report texts aim to present general factual information, and students in vocational school often need visual support to understand object characteristics. Teachers' perspective towards such a strategy are shaped by their knowledge, experience, and available resources, and their beliefs strongly influence the success of visual-based instruction. Next. Research gap that identify the first is limited research specifically examines visual-based strategies within the BKOF stage for teaching report text. And then teachers' perspective on using visual materials in vocational context remain that underexplored. And still few studies combine visual learning strategies with genre-based pedagogy in Indonesia. Vocational school is limit. Next. Okay, chapter 3 is research methodology. The first is research design. The study employed descriptive design, aiming to explore teachers' perspective on the use of visual-based building knowledge or BKOF strategy in teaching report text. A qualitative approach is considered appropriate because it focuses on understanding participant experience, beliefs, and classroom practice in depth. So, in my opinion, qualitative methodology is matched with my title. Next is research setting. The research was conducted at Vocational High School in Indonesia. The school was selected purposefully because it actively integrates visual media and genre-based instruction in English class, especially in teaching report text. The availability of English teachers familiar with the BKOF strategy also support the relevance of the setting. Next. The participant of the study are English teachers who teach support text writing in vocational high school. Purposes sampling was used, selecting teachers have taught English for at least 2 years, have experience applying visual-based or genre-based teaching strategies, and are willing to participate in interview and provide reflective information. Research setting. The first point in research setting is semi-structured interview, where conduct to gather teacher perspective, experience, and reflection on the implementation of visual-based PKF strategy. Next. The interview question cover perceived effectiveness of visual in BKF, implementation step in a classroom or lesson plan, maybe supporting and inhibiting factors, also teacher's reflection on student response and learning outcomes. Document analysis. To complement interview data, lesson plan or RPP, teaching materials, and visual aids used during the BKF stage were examined. Document analysis helps researchers how the strategy is planned and integrated real teaching practice. Okay, the next point is data collection procedure. The first is requesting permission from the school and participant. The second is conducting preliminary communication to explain the research purpose. And the third is scheduling interview season with each teacher. Fourth is recording and transcribing interviews. Number fifth, collecting teaching document related to BKOF process. And the sixth is categorizing the data for analysis. Next. Data analysis technique, familiarizing with data, reading interview transcript and documents. And the second is generating initial codes for recording ideas, example, effectiveness of visual, challenges, and teacher strategies. And the third is searching for themes by grouping related codes. Number four is reviewing themes to ensure the coherence and relevance. Number five, defining and naming themes to form clear findings. And the sixth, producing the report to answer this research question. This research using thematic analysis that's suitable because it helps identify pattern across qualitative data. Next. Trustworthiness of the data. To ensure the credibility of the finding, the study applies the criteria of Lincoln and Guba in 1985. The first is credibility. Number checking was conducted by asking participants to confirm interview interpretation. And the two, transferability, providing detailed description of the settings, participant, and procedures. And the third is dependability, maintaining consistent documentation during data collection and analysis. And the fourth is confirmability, ensuring that findings are based on participant perspective, not researcher's bias. Next. Okay, that's all from my presentation. And thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.